Anthony Hartwig here with a Mohawk player profile on the basketball court. We're joined by Bobby Fadden, one of the most prolific scorers in all the YSN family. Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk with us, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So here we are. You are coming in as an upperclassman now. Your freshman and sophomore years are done. You're officially a quote unquote veteran now. What's it feel like to kind of be in your third year?
Um, well, I'm excited to start. I'm excited to be a junior and go into my junior season. I'm gonna have to take a leadership role following Jay Rona last year. He did great leading the team and doing what he does. Now I have to step in and take over that role and point kids in the right direction.
Now, as far as the points, you've been a leader for a while. I mean, you already have 1,000, and here you are in your third. But now you have a more of an emotional leader role. You have to be an energetic leader. What kind of things have you learned in your first 2 years that are going to help you with that?
Communication. Communication is a huge thing on the court. Just to know where shooters are at, where their best players at, and just where everyone's at all time.
So, when you think about some of the goals that you have this year and some of the personal things that you want to accomplish before your junior season is over, what kind of things come to mind?
Me personally, I just want to play better and be a better version of myself every day on the court. And team wise, we're looking for we're looking for a ring. We really want to win a WPIAL championship here.
This is going to be kind of scary to all the people that have to guard you and defend you all year and have had to for a while. What ways do you see yourself getting better? I mean, you said you want to get better every day. What are some of the parts of the game that you think you're getting better at this year?
Um, my jumper, my pull up jumper, and my pull up three, they just need to get a little bit sharper. I need to bring that percentage up a little bit, but other than that, I think we'll be okay.
All right, now let's talk about your basketball journey when it comes to just the whole storyline. When did you get started with it? When did you find yourself kind of falling in love with the sport of basketball?
So when my parents had me in 2007, my dad was the basketball coach here at Mohawk, and I would always come up here with his teams, and I would actually never touch a basketball. I would always have either a football or a baseball and a baseball glove on, and all the kids would just start playing catch with me. So I didn't start touching a basketball until I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and then that's really when I fell in love with the game.
Can you remember what it was about basketball that made you really, fall for it?
You're just always in basketball, you're always moving around. In baseball, it's pitch by pitch. You have to wait around. Basketball, you're always moving. You need energy. It's more fun in my opinion.
All right, when you think about some of the things or influences you've had in your basketball career, people that you've either looked up to or tried to emulate your game off of, who are some people that come to mind?
The biggest influence is my dad. He's the one who taught me how to shoot a basketball. He's taught me everything about the game, and he's just played a huge part in my accomplishments. And another one is Coach O'Leary. Coach O'Leary is like a second dad to me, and he teaches me about attitude. Like he lives right next door to me. Like he does very well with me.
Let's use that as a segue to talk more about Coach O'Leary. When you think about having him as a head coach and having him as someone that leads this team, what makes that bond with you and him so special?
Um, Personally, I think he's one of the best coaches around. He knows more than anyone about the game around here, and he's just overall a good coach. He's not trying to just better us on the court, but better us as men, and just learning how to be like yourself and everything.
If you had to pick maybe one part of the game that he has the most responsibility for in your arsenal, what do you think is the most impactful thing that he's taught you in basketball?
The most impactful thing he's taught me is my attitude. You can't talk to refs. You can't complain about it. You got to get over it and go to the next play as soon as it's done.
How hard has that been for you? We know that a lot of guys and girls struggle with that letting the next play go and moving on. Talk about your journey getting to the point where you can do that.
So I'm an emotional player. I play with a lot of emotion. Um, my freshman, obviously me being young, or me being a freshman, I'm young, obviously. Uh, it was a struggle for me then because I was playing with varsity, so those kids were bigger, they were stronger than me, and if I got bumped, I would think it was a foul, and I would be mad about it. But then sophomore year, I got a little bit better at it, and this year I'm not going to say a word.
You had a lot of growing in your freshman year that you just talked about, which means you can take a lot. You can give a lot of advice for the freshmen that you have on your team now. What kind of things do you give them about what you went through your freshman year and trying to encourage them and get them through that first year of basketball?
The first year, you really gotta, like, we have a couple good leaders here that are really good at basketball. They know what they're doing. You got to pay attention to them. You follow their footsteps, and they're gonna lead you in the right direction.
Let's talk about you in the classroom as well. You're a great student at Mohawk. What have been some of your favorite classes that you've taken?
Um, some of my favorite classes that I was taking was, we have shop classes here at Mohawk, and I took all of my shop classes my freshman and sophomore year. I got through welding three, and then I was done. But welding was probably my favorite class.
And then I don't want to. I never like to word it as least favorite because I don't want to dig the teachers out there. But what class do you think was the hardest? You had to work the hardest to get the grade you got in.
I'm in pre-calc and stats right now, and those, with just like the curriculum we're learning right now, there's just a ton of work to it, and you gotta be able, you put in what you get out.
Talk about your time management because you're dealing with tough classes. You're dealing with basketball. You're a multiple sport athlete at Mohawk. How do you balance it all?
I try to get all my homework done in class actually, and if I don't, I won't do it at home because I hate doing homework at home. So I'll do it the next morning in class. Like period one, I have news media and production. It takes 10 minutes to do that. And then I got 35 minutes to do my other homework. And normally I'll do most of it in class. So I only have to do like 5, 10 more minutes of it.
When you think about what it means to you to represent this school system every day with every sport that you play with Mohawk across your chest, what makes you so proud to represent this school system?
I take pride in this school. They're really good here. Frangel stepped in a couple years ago. He's a great principal. I mean, just to represent this school is an honor to me.
And then let's talk about some of the things that you might see in your future. I know you're not a senior yet. You have plenty of time to think about your future after high school, but do you have anything that's kind of entering your mind on things you might want to go and do and pursue after you graduate high school?
I would love to play a sport in college. I'm hoping I can get some money here. I got to work hard in the off seasons. I got to have a good year this year. Um, but I would love to be able to play either football or basketball in college. And I want to do, for my career, I want it to have something to do with math.
When you think about college athletics and the opportunity that you might get to play it, what kind of things are you looking for in a college? What kind of things can a college coach kind of present to you that would make you feel like that would be a home that you would be able to be at?
Um, it's got to, like, I don't know. I really haven't looked into many colleges yet, so I can't really answer that question.
You got time, buddy. You got a lot of time in the world. Let's talk about your career. You said you wanted to be something in math, so I'm guessing you're good with the numbers. Are we talking like engineering? Would that be a good spot for you?
Yeah, engineering, it's definitely going to take time, but I could probably pursue that, maybe an accountant.
The other thing I want to talk to you about because of all the success you've had on the court and all the numbers you're able to put up, obviously a lot of the young kids in Mohawk look up to you. A lot of the people that haven't even gotten into high school yet are sitting there saying, "Man, I can't wait to try to be like Bobby." What's that like to you to kind of have a position to be a role model?
It's awesome. I'm always trying to make an impact on kids, and a good impact on kids. Like, I want them to think that I'm a good person, and I'm just trying to, like, make a good impact on them.
When you were young before high school, what were some of the difference makers and things that got kind of kept you motivated? What advice do you give to kids in middle school and younger that come up to you and want to play like you?
Um, Listen to your parents. they know what they're talking about. My dad, he was a good ball player. His brother was a good ball player. Um, and my dad, he taught me everything I know, and I listened to him, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think your dad's gonna love this interview. He's getting a lot of love. He
Hmm.
better get you a nice home cooked dinner after this interview airs. When you think about, when you think about some of the things that adversity, we talk about adversity all the time, and I'm sure you've gone through your fair share of it in your career. What would you say is the biggest kind of form of adversity you've had to face so far, and talk about how you got through it?
Um, Adversity is here. My freshman year, we weren't good. Like, well, my freshman year, like that season, we ended up doing pretty good. But before, like when I was just getting into my freshman year, I think we were 6-16 when I was in eighth grade, and the whole team was fighting adversity, just trying to turn this program around. And that's what Coach O'Leary came in to do, and he did just that. And we had to go through tons of adversity in games. We had a tough preseason schedule, playing teams that we were gonna see in like the state playoffs and all that. And we fell short my freshman year of the state playoffs. But then last year, a lot of people would say we have a chance, or we had a chance, and I agree with that. But we just fell short in the Whippeal semifinals, and then we fell short in the state quarterfinals, which we definitely could have capitalized on.
How much do you think going through those two seasons is going to really help this team this year?
Um, I think it's going to help a lot just playing in. We played in like four playoff games. Well, two playoff games and then two play-in games my freshman year. So four playoff games that year. We made it to the semis my sophomore year and the quarters in the states. So we played a ton of playoff games, and to have that experience is huge because those games are different than regular season games. It's live or die right now. So everyone's got to have that experience and know what it feels like to be in that game.
All right, Bobby, we end these player profiles the same way every time. We want to give the player the chance to take the spotlight off themselves for a second and shine on the people in their life that get them to where they are. So I'm sure you have a lot of people in your corner. I want you to take the time to give your thank yous and your shout outs to the people that have meant the most to you.
I want to thank my parents for everything they do for me. I want to thank all my coaches, my football, basketball, baseball, track, golf, all of them. I want to thank all my coaches, and I want to thank all my teammates for being who they are. It's a great time on and off the court, and if it wasn't for them, nothing I've done would have came true.
For those of you that were paying attention, that was one, two, three, four, five sports. And we can't wait to see you out there on the basketball court for Mohawk. Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate the time. We will see you again real soon. Good luck this year, buddy.
Thank you for having me.